Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Today, let's talk about something a little different. Let's talk about video games today. Let's talk about something different. Let's change up a bit. Let's talk about music. Music is an art form. Music is something that we listen to on a daily basis, everywhere. And of course, music is definitely part of our lives, and it's a very important part of our lives to get through a day or to give you a certain type of mood. Well, here we're not going to talk about any type of music genre, we're not going to talk about any of that. But we're going to talk about video game soundtrack or OST. Or official soundtrack. That's basically OST stands for official soundtrack. A bunch of games, have, amazing soundtracks. And as a gaming lover that I am, and like games, I'm equally in love with music. Music has been a big part of me. Sometimes I believe I'm more of a music lover than a video game lover at this stage of my life, because music is such a wonderful crafty artwork, especially the video game soundtracks. Now, music to me makes or breaks a game to me, and there's some games that you could have the game with the best gameplay, the best story, and all that stuff, but having a terrible soundtrack, a shitty soundtrack, that kind of might ruin the mood a little bit. But if you have a game that's like, for example, that's like, story's okay, the gameplay is good, but the soundtrack is a banger and it's amazing, it could maybe like the game just a little bit more. Let's give you guys an example for some of the games that I know that has like pretty good soundtrack. Let's go to the easiest one, Grand Theft Auto. I know when people were kids, and when we are kids, we played GTA, right? We played Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, San Andreas, so on and so forth. The good thing about these Grand Theft Auto games is that every Grand Theft Auto has a different kind of music. For example, GTA 3 takes place in the year 2001, so you can hear late 90s, early 2000s music around those time period, from like the late 90s and like 2001, like music. When you go a game like Vice City, which is basically takes place in the 80s, you hear a lot of 80s music and all that kind of stuff. And the 90s, and then what encompasses GTA San Andreas with the 90s. For example, the 80s with like some poppy music, some nice rock and a bit of metal music, while like San Andreas have a bit of the grudge and hardcore gangster rap and all that kind of stuff. That's where I got my love for music, from the Grand Theft Auto series. It speaks. Every soundtrack, it speaks to you and it sets you that type of mood. So like I said earlier. So let's go to another game. Let's go to let's just say an action game. Like having games like, for example, action games like Metal Gear Solid and God of War have cinematic music, orchestral, cinematic type music, that fits the atmosphere pretty well and all that kind of stuff. Then you have games like, for example, hack and slash games like Metal Gear Rising, for example, Devil May Cry. Even though Metal Gear Rising has good gameplay and decent story, the soundtrack is what kind of sells it for me. Is the soundtrack. I mean, the soundtrack is such a bumpin' soundtrack that is really amazing, really awesome, and really enjoyable to listen to. Like I do. I definitely love to listen a lot of Metal Gear Rising and some Devil May Cry music. They're pretty good soundtrack. They're basically kind of well out for the soundtrack. We'll go into another genre of game. Let's go to a horror game. Take Silent Hill 2, for example. like Silent Hill 2 or the Silent Hill series. Silent Hill series has really diverse of music. Every single game has different tone. The first game is kind of a bit more industrial type of feel to it. The second game felt like more softer and more, like rock type music. While 3 focused on atmosphere and tension and scare music and ambience. So every single game in the Silent Hill series have different type of music with a different type of atmospheres try to pull off for you, which is really good. It's just such a really great music. There's some like good like relaxing music, like Resident Evil, for example. The safe room music, always very relaxing. It gives you that feel that you are safe. Nothing bad happens. You're basically in a safe zone, relax. Felt like you have to take a breather from all the crazy tension and all that stuff. Or you can just sit there, or just let your character stand there, and you can just sit there and let the music play. Or you can go on YouTube and just find music, like I always do. So yeah, video game soundtrack has been very important, and they did I believe sometimes that music from video game soundtracks are sometimes better, I say sometimes, better than real life music. There's some like music from like, I don't know, for example, like from Metal Gear Rising. Let's go back to Metal Gear Rising again. The music and the people who compose the music are amazing, they're really amazing, they're really awesome, and they did a wonderful job. There's some music, out there that's actually based on, of course, real life music. For example, the Devil May Cry reboot, they used Come Christ as their, band of making music, which is really good, I like their music and everything. And music is very, very important. Like, video game soundtracks are very important to me. And heck, we'll throw another game, a beat 'em up game. Let's throw in Yakuza, for example. Yakuza is well known for a lot of amazing soundtrack. If I could give example for some of the music soundtracks, you have bungous soundtracks like Rules of Nature. You have soft and calm music like White Noise from Silent Hill 2. You have the epicness music of the Best Is Yet to Come. You have, some of the songs like, for example, Receive You from the Yakuza. Notice these songs I mentioned has a different feel and a different, it expresses different emotion towards you, towards the player, like let you know what they're all about. Just sometimes a single song from their soundtrack will tell you exactly what you're into. So it's very important because music has a deeper meaning to games other than games or have deeper meaning to games. I don't know if that makes sense, but music has deeper meaning and really can get you on a different mood, whether you're want to listen to relaxing music, well, you want to listen to high octane action, and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty much very important, and it's really amazing how music inspired, like, video game soundtracks are just really amazing and really, really wonderful music. And it's pretty much has been a part of my life ever since. It's probably part of your guys' lives as well. You have your favorite. So, hey, what's your favorite soundtrack? Let me know in the comments. What your favorite music from video games to have it top in your head? Whether it came from real life music or came from video game soundtracks themselves. So, yeah, just let me know about it. Like, in conclusion, to me, video game soundtracks are a piece of art that people is ingrained into our minds. It's ingrained into our minds, and it's been pretty much a part of our lives. And heck, in the future, there's gonna be better music. Hopefully, like in the future, there's gonna be other games that have like outstanding music. When you listen to music, you need to know the type of music they put on the game. It listens an atmosphere. It always does and always will be. Heck, it's better even than movie music, because movie music sometimes are just the same generic freaking rule-free stupid crap. Personally, so no, there's nothing wrong with that, but I prefer video game soundtracks than movie soundtracks. I feel like sometimes movie soundtracks are pretty damn awesome. So yeah, that's all I have to say about this video. A little small video to make, talking about video game soundtrack and how it's important and how I think it's pretty much amazing. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you do enjoy this video, give it a like, subscribe if you want. If you like the video, you like my content, subscribe, share this video for people, and yeah, that's the end of the video. Take care.